So guys, this is not an aircraft, this is a Bitcoin miner.
Hey guys, so many times I did run into people new to the idea of Bitcoin, and they have heard some mainstream news program or some random persons called experts who confuse them about Bitcoins. Now there are a lot of half-truths, ignorance, or totally stupid bubble news on the internet sold as facts on how Bitcoin works. I've been in the crypto community since 2013, and together with my friend Thomas, we have hosted a bunch of projects over at bitcointalk.org, including group buys, community mining, and Thomas has even designed his own mining rigs. So today, in this episode of The Truth About, I want to tell you what's behind Bitcoins and all the other so-called cryptocurrencies. According to legend, Satoshi Nakamoto began working on the Bitcoin concept in 2007. While he's on record as living in Japan, it is speculated that Nakamoto may be a collective name for more than one person. In November 2008, a link to a paper written by Satoshi Nakamoto titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, was posted to a cryptography mailing list, and this was the start of Bitcoin. In the beginning, everyone said it's a scam or some kind of weird multi-level marketing crap. But soon a tiny community formed in a small forum called bitcointalk.org. In June 2011, WikiLeaks and other organizations began to accept bitcoins for donations, and then many companies followed. So this was the first step from Bitcoin as a useless coin to a global, easy-to-use payment method. And now, 5 years later, almost every company accepts Bitcoins because they are so hyped. And also there are a lot of payment providers like GoCoin, Coinify and BitPay and many more, which trade your Bitcoins or altcoins directly into cash and transfer it to your bank account for a kinda small fee. Also, a lot of companies did see another way of funding in this new currency, resulting in a lot of ICOs in the last months. Many experts would like to sound mysterious when explaining how Bitcoin works, by claiming that nobody controls them and they're controlled by everybody at the same time. So it sounds like something Yoda would say, but this is true. The decentralized nature of Bitcoins means that no single person or organization controls Bitcoins. All the coins are saved on the so-called blockchain, and the blockchain is the core of Bitcoin as it is the summary of all transactions in the Bitcoin network. As the name implies, the blockchain is a chain of blocks or sets of transactions in chronological order. Using cryptography to keep exchanges secure, the blockchain provides a decentralized database or digital ledger of transactions that everyone on the network can see. So this network is essentially a chain of computers that must all approve an exchange before it can be verified and recorded. So that means that it also can't be tricked easily. An infinite number of bitcoins would render this cryptocurrency valueless. Inflation comes along when the government prints more and more money and brings it into circulation. The creators of Bitcoin have noticed this and only created 21 million bitcoins to be into service at a go. So this is great, as you can split one bitcoin into very small fractions and still make a purchase, instead of adding more and more coins into the market. This means that Bitcoin can maintain its strong value with ease. Bitcoins can be created by mining of so-called Bitcoin miners. In the early days of Bitcoin, it was even possible to create Bitcoins with your CPU in your computer. But nowadays, you need expensive ASIC machines that are only designed for one thing: creating Bitcoins with the best efficiency available. I'm happy to announce that we are soon official distributor of Avalon miners from Canaan Creative, which are the most reliable machines on the market. However, those machines drain a lot of power from the power socket, and they don't make sense in some countries like Germany, where the electricity costs for private people are insane. Now people are sending bitcoins to each other over the Bitcoin network all the time. But unless someone keeps a record of all these transactions, no one would be able to keep track of who had paid what. The Bitcoin network deals with this by collecting all the transactions made during a set of period into a list. This is called a block, and it's the miner's job to confirm those transactions and write them into a general ledger. Now Bitcoin's perceived value fluctuates, and that's also caused a bit by news events that scare Bitcoin users, including geopolitical events and statements by governments that Bitcoin is likely to be regulated. Such things can cause the value of Bitcoins versus fiat currencies to drop down rapidly. So whenever you buy, sell or trade Bitcoins, always think about that you can lose everything. As long as you're okay with it, go ahead and enjoy the journey. So nobody knows where Bitcoin will go. The sky is the limit, and right now it's literally exploding and heading to 6 and then probably 10,000 USD. So Bitcoin is the first killer blockchain technology app, just like email was the first killer internet app. And I really believe in the technical value of Bitcoin and the blockchain. But for sure, like everything else, Bitcoin has also a lot of downsides. So once a payment is made, it cannot be reversed. And this allows the transaction to be completely anonymous. So this is why it's so popular with people who want to make illegal sales online, until the big media say that people are just using it to buy crack or guns on darknet. And also if you lose your wallet or you get hacked, you lose all your Bitcoins forever. So this is where the things get a little bit tricky with Bitcoin. With the traditional banking system, you can always somehow negotiate with the bank and recover your money. But with Bitcoin, this is not possible. If you lose your wallet, you will lose your money forever, and it's impossible to know the sender of any transaction. The sender is literally just a number. Many people also use Bitcoin as a synonym for all cryptocurrencies out there. Now CoinMarketCap now lists over 1,150 different cryptocurrencies, which all have one thing in common. They are based on blockchain technology, but their market cap really varies. Now all coins which are not Bitcoin are basically called altcoins, which stands for alternate coins. So even the already huge Ethereum is an altcoin based on a different algorithm than Bitcoin. And all coins differ somehow in what they are able to do or what problem they can solve, like smart contracts. However, they have one thing in common: they are based on blockchain technology. So if you want to invest in any new coin, always think about how can this coin solve a new problem. There are just too many rip-offs on the market, and some of them even gained a lot of value. So in 2013 Dogecoin was created, a mashup that combined Bitcoin with that Doge, however you call it, meme they had seen on social media. Now Mr. Palmer hoped to use Dogecoin to show the absurdity of wagering huge sums of money on unstable ventures. And now Dogecoin is under the top 100 crypto coins. So that's impressive, right? You never know when a coin will explode. And for me it's important to look at the team and the specific problem the coin will solve. The problem with all those new altcoins is that they have very small market caps. And that means that their value can skyrocket and fall down into the nowhere within even minutes. So if you invest in any coin, always think about that your money could be gone. Because those coins are only as much worth as people want to pay. But for me, Bitcoin is the future. So finalizing some facts to give you an idea how big Bitcoins really are. Every Bitcoin transaction, no matter how small, uses at least enough electricity to power 3 average homes for an entire day. And if you would have invested $100 in Bitcoin in 2010, you would be worth $72 million right now. Alright guys, so we're now here at the unscripted part of this episode of The Truth About. So well, in my last video about Bitcoin miners, I've seen that many of you don't know how a Bitcoin miner looks like, how huge they really are, and if you can basically operate them at home. So before we come to a little bit of personal advice, let's have a closer look at one of these Bitcoin miners.
So guys, there we go. We're here in my garage, and as you can hear, this is super noisy. Well, this is my test bench. I have here a load tester for the efficiency of the power supplies, a server power supply, a power meter. Here we have the Bitcoin miner, so it's that huge thing right over here. This is the controller, a Raspberry Pi 2.0. And well, all that connected to my notebook over Ethernet. So to check the efficiency, to see the mining progress and everything. So what I'm doing here is basically I check out the older generation, I play around with different clock speeds, voltage to see if they still make sense or if it doesn't make sense to mine with these anymore. So well, this here is the Avalon Miner 6.0, as you can see. This thing has a hash rate of 3.5 terahash, which is These days, not really a lot. And as you can hear, it's very noisy and oh, it's so good. So hot air is coming out of it, and it's draining 1,200 watts from the power socket, which is a lot. So it's basically heating up here the whole room. So well, this thing, as I've told you, is capable of putting out 3.5 terahash. It's connected to a huge power supply. This is a server power supply capable of outputting 1,200 watts, as you can see. The miner itself is connected to a Raspberry Pi. The operating system is basically here on the SD card, and it's connected with those jumper cables directly to the miner. But well, some of them can also be connected over USB if you have the converter. Alright, as you can hear, it's very noisy, and the software basically looks like this. You have a dashboard. Quickly have to log in here. There we go. So here, this is the dashboard from Avalon. As you can see, you will get here a chart of your hash rate and here the fan speed. You can see here basically voltage, fan speed, which is 4,700 RPM. So this is incredibly loud. You don't want to have that in your living room. So for your living room or just mining for fun, something like a USB miner like the 2-pack by Gecko Science makes more sense if you just want to know how this works. So well, I will quickly change the clock speed of the miner because this is just too loud to talk here. And as you can see, it now goes down to 80 watts. Also the fan will go down, and yeah, reducing basically the frequency will result in a lower hash rate, but also a better efficiency, and also, as you can hear, it's not that noisy anymore. Still draining 500 watts from the power socket. You really need to think about if those things make sense in your country, because noisy, they drain a lot of power. Power is expensive in my country. So, well, if you have like a spare place or anything like a huge garage, cellar or anything like that, and you have cheap electricity costs, then a miner like this one here probably makes sense, but not one. You probably need 10, 20 to make a pretty good profit each month. And well, as you can see, 600 watts right now, which is still a lot. Alright guys, this is how a Bitcoin miner looks and sounds like.
Alright guys, so Bitcoin miners are huge, they're expensive, they are noisy and they drain a lot of power, but to keep it simple, they turn electricity into Bitcoins. And if you want to get into mining, always think about, does it make sense in your country? If you have very high electricity costs, well, then you will maybe see your money very late. If you have very low or no electricity costs, well, then you just have to purchase the miner and just hope that the Bitcoin value isn't dropping down into the nowhere, and then you will make a return on investment quite fast. Alright, so if you're more interested in the topic mining, I made a video on USB ASIC miners and you can find it above here, and there I've explained Bitcoin mining a little bit more. Now, just some personal tips, personal opinion. This should be no financial advice. Anyway, I'm more the techie guy. I love to have a look at Bitcoin miners, how they work. I think that the blockchain is a very interesting topic, but from an economical point of view, I'm not into trading Bitcoins and all that so much. But I think Bitcoin is going to hit big in the next years. This is one of the reasons that companies are accepting Bitcoins. So many companies nowadays, almost every online company, because of all the payment service providers, companies are collecting millions of dollars in crypto coins because there are ICOs. They can fund themselves within minutes, sometimes even seconds, and they are sold out and they raise millions of dollars. So this is all very, very interesting, but you have to take it with care. So from my personal opinion, stay away from Ponzi schemes, any kind of multi-level marketing where you have to invite friends to get benefits or anything like that. So really, for instance, Avalon Live or all those multi-level marketing things, just stay away from that. Bitcoins are not regulated, that's why there are also a lot of scams, and it's very hard to keep a track to which company you are sending the money to. So be really careful with that. You can lose your money very fast. Alright, then also if you want to get into Bitcoins and you have never done anything before, I would say the best thing is to just go, get a wallet and buy Bitcoins. So it's actually quite easy. And I hear from most of the people, well, Bitcoin is at $5,000-6,000, I can't buy full Bitcoin. Well, there are 8 digits behind the comma. And you can buy Bitcoins with almost any value you want. You just have to go and buy it. And you probably don't make a lot of money if you only buy a small amount of Bitcoins. But still, you can have your first experience with it and probably trade or have a closer look on how the Bitcoin ecosystem works. If you want to get into mining but you have no idea about any technical backgrounds, if you really want to get into mining but you have no idea how all that works, if you have no technical background, if you live in a country with high electricity costs, then probably get a cloud mining contract. Just go to Genesis Mining or any legit company, check them out. But don't just go and buy a random mining machine. I've seen so many people, they have the machine at home and they don't know how to use it. So really just check how it works before, or just buy Bitcoins to get used to it. Alright, then I quickly want to announce here at the end that we are soon Canaan distributor. That means we are selling Avalon miners. The 741 is the latest generation. You will soon be able to buy it at our shop. Link is down below in the description. It's Crypto Universe. We are right now just getting C certification ready for the European Union. And well, very soon we'll have stock and then you can get your first miners. For sure there will be more videos on how the miner works, what's inside a Bitcoin miner, and many more guides on the topic Bitcoin and mining. Also, my business partner and friend Thomas is a really stock addict and he loves to trade, but I'm more the techie guy. I have no idea about trading and all that. And we also have a few trading reports. If you want to check them out, there is advice on how to get started with Bitcoin or how basically to buy things, make a profit with them in the cryptocurrency market. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of The Truth About. So finalizing, I think Bitcoin is going to hit big. It's not a scam, Ponzi scheme or anything anymore. So this has a bright future, but take it with care. And if you invest money, then always think about that your money could be gone. And I think then you can't do anything wrong. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll catch you in the next episode of The Truth About, and that will come soon. Bye bye.